Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 383 of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. With all of the changes coming to Walt Disney World, it helps to have a travel agent to depend on. And they have been in business a long time. And they can help you with discounts as well and getting the best price possible for your trip.
And you mentioned changes just a second ago. There have been a few announcements today regarding changes from Walt Disney World.
Well, there's a couple of announcements, big ones, especially the first one is Magical Express will be ending after the end of 2021. So starting January 1st, 2022, there will be no more Magical Express. It is operated by Mears, and Mears has said today that Disney has informed them of the decision, so it's good that they know about it. And they will, it's a big company for transportation, so they will still be offering, you would have to pay for it, different service options, I guess.
And they've been doing this for a long time. I know the service started in 2005. Now, we personally have never done it, but you see the buses all the time.
Well, I was going to say I was a travel agent in 2005, so I remember when it started around the same time as free dining, and I thought both of them would last like a year or two, and they have both lasted 15 years, but I'm surprised by the announcement now.
Right. But there's also a little good news announced.
Well, we haven't had EMH Extra Magic Hours since the parks reopened, and we're still not going to have it. However, there's a new service coming later this year for the 50th called Early Theme Park Entry. And so you can go in, you'll be able to go in if you're staying at Walt Disney World Resorts or one of the other select resorts, probably like Swan and Dolphin, 30 minutes into any park, 30 minutes early into any of the parks on any of the days, which I think is kind of nice because you don't have to choose a certain, park. You can choose any park that you want.
It's good for these times also because it means that everybody won't rush to whatever park has extra magic hours. In the old days, once a day. Now it's spread out and it's always in the morning. It'll be much more spread out.
And even though Disney says no more extra magic hours, I mean, you never know in the future once the pandemic is fully over, anything can change back.
So now we're going to talk about our stay this week at Disney's Bay Lake Tower. Also, we stayed at Disney's Polynesian Village, but we're just talking about the Bay Lake Tower. Here is the entranceway in the lobby. I like the way it gets you in the mood for the parks here with a nice Cinderella Castle artwork.
And we have friends who had DVC points, and that we didn't. We paid at cost for them,
right?
And so we stayed on property the 5 nights.
It was an
really
incredible
nice.
deal. They were trying to get
lessen,
rid of the points,
right? To lessen the points that they have. And so we have never stayed at Bay Lake Tower before, and I've been wanting to check it out. And
right,
we got
me
a
too.
theme park view for the night.
So here is a look at our room. We were on the sixth floor, even though it says 7 there.
I know, it's always confusing to me. It's like, I don't know if it's like building 7 and then 6. I like that first number to be...
correspond with the floor.
Yes, it really helps. So here is the room. I've got to say, overall, I like Disney's Polynesian Village Resort.
The room itself is much more spacious.
Right, just overall theming and everything. But this was really nice for one night, and I've got to say that the view was totally worth having the room for it. It's a spectacular view.
All about the view, and I like the Disney touches, the Mickey and the artwork and all this.
And also the way they have, and you'll probably show it, the refrigerator and everything. It's almost like its own little compartment,
right.
And I thought that was interesting. But the artwork is nice. It's a clean look to the room.
And I believe that to be a pull-out. So if you wanted a second... we never did pull it out.
No, you probably should for the video. But this is the view, and we had the most spectacular sunset and the most spectacular sunrise. And to be able to have it from here was really nice.
We're very fortunate that we had such a nice day. It was one of the nicest sunrises, certainly, with the mist on the water and the balloons, and we'll see all that later on.
And the next few days had really nice sunrises and sunsets. The last day was
every day
pretty
except
gray.
for Saturday morning, yeah.
And so you can see Cinderella Castle. So we had the view here, as they call it, theme park view. You can see Space Mountain, just a little bit of the Tron construction. And then the Astro Orbiter and Cinderella Castle looks so nice. And we saw the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, the tree was still up at this point. And actually, the tree was still up as of the morning
Saturday.
of the 10th.
Yeah.
So that's January 10th. As of the 10th, the tree was still up.
And I don't know. I assume it's.
Oh, no, 9th. I'm sorry. January 9th was Saturday.
I assume it's down by now, but so much was still kind of up. Through our whole trip, I kept expecting trees to go down. Eventually, the one that Contemporary did, and also at the Polynesian.
But if you're a fan of the monorails, I mean, you can just sit out there for
watch 'em
hours and
all.
watch them. And we didn't even go to the park the first day because we just enjoyed relaxing on the balcony and just, and relaxing a little bit.
It's been really chilly this week, and I know I have said that many times, but it actually was in the 30s and 40s in the mornings on a number of mornings. And to sit out in, 60s, 50s, and 60s when you're in a little bit of shade, it was a little cool, but I really enjoyed it.
And this was what you talked about, the little kitchenette here.
The way they do this is interesting compared to other resorts. I have not been in a studio, not even looked in a studio at Bay Lake Tower before, so I actually kind of like this. You go in and you've got your little kitchenette going on, and I really like the DVC studios where you have, you've got a microwave here, you've got the toaster. Like, I didn't even think to bring bagels or something. I could have. And then the little refrigerator, which everybody gets in their rooms.
You put that to good use, though.
Yeah, I mean, we, especially when we bring food back and put it in the refrigerator and microwave it. And then what I like also about, while we're looking at this, Disney's Polynesian Resort is the double bathrooms, like on the cruise line. So here you get the one restroom, and it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. Again, you can't compare it to Disney's Polynesian Village, but again, location, and the shower was very nice. I had a very nice shower, just like all the resorts we've stayed in. You have the enhanced cleaning. The remote control is in the little plastic wrap, and actually there were two remotes because in this room, they had a little DVD player which had its own remote.
And also, Bay Lake Tower is a lot busier than Disney's Polynesian Resort is. So Contemporary and Bay Lake Tower are fully open. A lot of the restaurants are open. Where at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, it's not officially open till next summer. Just the DVC section is. So if you're looking for a quieter stay, which is usually right now what I prefer, just to kind of stay away from too many people.
Right.
The Polynesian is really the way to go if you're trying to decide between the two.
Plus the lack of elevators.
Right. I don't like to. Well, there's elevators at the Polynesian. We ended up we asked for the ground floor.
Right.
But you've got. I don't like to right now. I don't like to go in the elevators too much. So Jeff had the good thought to go to the 4th floor of the Contemporary. You go over the bridge. You're on the 5th floor, I guess, of the Bay Lake Tower, and then you walk up one flight.
Yeah,
so
it was actually once we figured it out, I mean, if we had stayed there a week, it would have been fine.
Right, it would have been, because we just would have stayed away, for the most part, from using the elevators.
So this is an area I had not had a chance to investigate. You just saw the little DVC tribute fountain, which had a lot of the founders of this resort here. And we're looking at the pool area, which actually just went under refurbishment the day after we checked out, which would have been...
Which you just found out today.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Right, which would have been, I think, the 6th of January. So we just made it in time. I'd never even been in here, so it was really nice. It was too cold to go for a swim, but it was nice to actually be allowed in this area and be able to walk around and really get a good lay of the land. Hopefully we can come back sometime in the summertime and go for a swim there.
Yeah, especially since we're not traveling, it's nice to be able to, try out some of the resorts here. And I would go back to, I thought Bay Lake Tower was, especially with the view, was really nice.
I love this little fire pit area with these high chairs. We did sit in these chairs and have a drink and just enjoy the beautiful area.
Yeah, while we were bundled up. I
think.
Yeah,
we were very bundled. That is true.
It's funny because sometimes people will be swimming and I'm in my hoodie with my hood up.
I'm never surprised though. I mean, there was one morning where it was like 49 degrees and there were people in the pool.
I have used jacuzzis when it was cold out. The bad thing is getting out, so I really don't do it anymore.
Oh, this is a little beach that I didn't even know existed, which is at the very back end of the pool area, sort of like a private beach almost, and it looks very, very nice.
I actually had no idea it was there because we don't go here really too much.
Yeah, we actually learned something new. We
A number of
discovered
things,
things. Yeah,
yeah.
it was, and this is really cool too. This Mickey
The
play
play
area, and
area.
I could see where this could use a little repainting. So I can see why they have to do some refurbishment there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what's different. I assume I actually have not read up on the changes or, the refurbishment. So I'll have to. I do know that the contemporary tower, the main tower, is going to have the Incredibles themed rooms, and I think that's starting soon.
So this little area here outside, we have gone many holidays and met characters right in this little spot, right in the corner here. Usually on Easter they'll have characters, and on Halloween.
Duffy.
So yeah, like many times. So everywhere you go, we have
Chippendale,
memory. Yeah,
yes.
remember Chippendale? There's so
Yep.
many nice memories. So after we got the lay of the land, we decided to have some lunch. So we went to the Grand Canyon concourse in the main building and looked around a little bit, and then we ordered from the Contempo Cafe.
And we did that on mobile order. We just missed. I wanted to do the Wave because once we get our 10% annual pass discount, you can do mobile order on the Wave. It wasn't
It's
that,
a really good deal. The
It's
Wave,
not
yeah.
that much different in price, and you're getting food from a table service restaurant.
We
So
did go for dinner. We did do that for dinner.
And but we did Contempo Cafe, and it was actually pretty good. We eat more. I think we eat more table service now than ever, though.
Yeah, it's so
because we
convenient.
can just take it with us. I
This
think
was
it's really
the
good.
Meat Lovers flatbread that you had found. You were listing off all the options to me. So this was really good. I was glad to have this. The only problem is I ate this whole thing. I was kind of full for dinner. So we ended up splitting just one dinner. I guess we probably saved a little money, and you had the burger and you were quite full from that.
Right. I mean, I don't eat the cheese, and I think I ate like 2/3 of it, and I was like, okay, I'm good. It wasn't bad. We do a lot of the table service,
Right.
so we missed the Wave by like 1 minute.
But the thing is, you had the view once
We
again.
had the view, and
As soon as we took
lunch here,
this little clip, we brought our food outside and just ate it on the balcony.
when you do the mobile order, you just go and get your bag, and then you take it with you, which I love.
And then we went for a little walk, and as we were walking around, we saw this.
So, we didn't see it at first. We saw the
van parked outside
and
the
Jess
shot
like,
I just showed
where
you.
could they be? And I said, why don't we just wait by the van and see what's going to happen?
You're the smart one.
And I thought that they would be leaving, but instead they must have been in there doing something, because like a few minutes later they came out, and this was where they were.
I love this. He has to be very careful, Pluto. He doesn't want to trip through that little drain there.
Yes, and we have shown the Caravanning Round the World before at Disney's Riviera Resort, also Goofy and Pluto. Even though they show other characters on the van, I have not heard of anybody but Goofy and Pluto going to the resorts yet.
I like this. This is where Goofy takes off his hat.
This was such a fun. The thing about it is, like, when I was taking pictures and I have the contemporary behind them, it reminds me of the 1970s, the old style photos where, you get the character photos where they're doing various things at the resorts, and normally you just don't get this opportunity.
I quickly ran up onto the sky bridge because I thought it would be interesting to see their little meet and greet from above.
I didn't do that.
And you can see there's not really a lot of people there, so they were quite happy to have somebody to wave to at this point.
Oh,
And it was
that's
fun.
fun.
It was a very interesting angle to see them meeting and greeting.
Well, most guests are not at the resort at this point. The resorts tend to be fairly quiet during the day. A lot of them are anyway, because almost everybody's at the park. So, they don't have as many guests.
Right. I mean,
interested
plus
in
it's
them.
in the afternoon. I mean, you could see just a smattering of guests. I think we were their main entertainer. Now, this was really funny. What you can't see is there was a lady with her dog. She was jogging with her dog, and they walked up to Pluto here. And, of course, Pluto was very excited to see another canine, and they were taking some pictures and everything.
So
and then Goofy even got into the act.
Might there not be another canine behind Pluto?
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm just saying. Is Goofy a canine as well?
Goofy's a dog.
Oh, I always forget that. Well, it's very. They look different. No, from this angle, I guess
know.
they look. And there's the dog, by the way. There goes the dog and
One
the jogger.
acts more like a person,
That's
and the
right.
other acts more like a dog, but they're both dogs.
So anyway, I have to give credit for you. You did spot the van and said we should wait by the van. And again, I thought they would be walking out to just leave and we'd see them for a second, but we had the whole show. So
Jeff
great.
was,
You
like,
did a very good idea.
Jeff was like running all over the place, wondering where they were. I'm like, why don't we just, if you're by the van, you know you're going to see them.
That's such a good
Not
point.
too close to the van. Like, I stayed back, you know, not to be.
So we went for a walk and explored. We hadn't walked around to the, what do they call the little...
The
garden rooms,
and
yes.
The garden wing. There used to be 2 different garden wings, and then Bay Lake Tower replaced one of them.
So this was our dinner from the Wave, and I think this is a Caesar salad here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the food
filet.
was good. This wasn't my favorite of the meals. It wasn't bad, but the filet was a little salty, and the potatoes were really salty. I don't cook with salt, like, ever.
You noticed the Contemporary seemed to use more salt than the Polynesian. That's what you had said.
I thought that any of our other meals were, you know, had some seasonings, but I thought that this had quite a bit of salt in it, especially those potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, more than any of the other places. So I enjoyed my steak a lot more over at Three Bridges, because that's one of my favorite restaurants.
And we'll show that on another show. But this was the standout here, the 7-layer
Yes.
cake. And we had been told that by concierge there. A friend of ours works there. And they said, you know, this is the same 7-layer cake they used to sell upstairs.
Well,
top of the world.
and that they will again, but they had it in the bar of the Wave. And I would
It's not on the menu. If you don't
Right.
know about it, you would not know. So you actually have to order it in person at the bar.
And I would do
the
that
Wave.
as soon as the bar opens, when nobody is there yet. And
So good though, by the
you know.
way. It was the best thing we had the entire stay at the Contemporary.
that was probably my favorite thing. I really enjoyed that.
So the water pageant has recently restarted, and we decided to go and see the water pageant at 10 o'clock. It appears here outside, and we watched it from the end of the boat dock. Not the best location, because there's little bars and things in the way, but it was still wonderful to see the water pageant again.
Now I want a 7-layer cake.
I know, it's so good. It is so good, isn't it?
Yes, and it's nice to see the Electrical Water Pageant now restarted. We both have watched it since the 70s. It's been a favorite.
Sort of my whole life. I don't remember a time living not having seen this.
And it's a precursor to the Main Street Electrical Parade, which is obviously it's not playing anywhere right now.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to have the option at the various resorts. And if you're at the Magic Kingdom and you walk outside, you go to the Grand Floridian Path, they have had that, it passes there as well.
Again, I think the best place to watch it from at the Contemporary after experiencing this would be where you went to photograph, over on the beach where we were when we walked to look at the other rooms there.
Well,
the garden,
on the way
room
to the
area.
garden wing, you can get a really nice view. I took some video from there and some photos. From the dock, it really isn't quite as good.
Well, because you have part of the dock
right
in your
front
way.
of you. And so if you are at Disney's Contemporary Resort, I would definitely go to the beach just a little bit away from the dock.
And of course, we did record it also at the Polynesian, and I ended up posting that to our channel, and I will link to that at the end of the show.
That was so cold there.
It was
the
freezing
Polynesian,
cold,
it
yes.
was really cold.
And here we go. It's morning time now, and we're not quite seeing the beautiful view of sunrise, but you're about to see it. You can see the birds flying by. It's very early in the morning, like 6
You didn't
something.
even show sunset. You'll have to show it next time.
Oh, I forgot it. Well,
Sunset was so nice.
There's time constraints here, and this
Next
morning
week.
was so beautiful with the mist and everything.
And the balloons.
And the balloons. You had mentioned, oh, there's balloons. And I said, what do you mean balloons?
The hot air balloons. I think there was a total of 6 at one point. There were, they are in our area. The balloons are in the Davenport area.
But you really were excited about this mist, this
I
fog
was.
over Bay
And
or
I was-
Seven Seas Lagoon.
I was hoping to see more of it in the coming days, but I think it might be where it just didn't happen.
Right.
And I wish we had seen more of that, and I wish we were a little higher up, but it's still nice to get to see it. And all of those balloons, again, they're in the Davenport area. They're not they're not on Walt Disney World property, but you can see them so nicely.
And
here.
this was about 7:15 a.m., right before you did a very, very quick run over to the Magic Kingdom.
I just, this view was amazing. And I am about to put up an article showing sunset and sunrise and just how really beautiful both were. And don't forget.
Well,
Don't
I
forget.
think one of the reasons I didn't put sunset there is because my video doesn't do justice to the pictures that
Well,
you took.
you
Next
can
time I'll show some of the
show
pictures.
some of the pictures.
Because those pictures were amazing, especially with, seeing the monorail with the
Beautiful.
sun in the background and everything. That was gorgeous. And again, this was amazing with the balloons.
And I'm scared of heights, so I don't go in the balloons. Like I don't know that I will ever go in a hot air balloon, but I actually love to see them out and about.
So I'm just going to quickly zoom in and show where our balcony was. Not that high, which worked out for us because we often, again, we don't like the elevators as much, so we would walk down the stairs to go down, and then going up we would just take the bridge and then take the stairs up one flight, and we didn't have to take elevators anymore. It's breakfast time. Mickey waffles.
Yeah, it's a nice breakfast. It's I gotta say, the Polynesians' breakfasts were my favorite, but there's something about Mickey waffles also.
Right, and we would have done the wave, but I had a package coming back home, so I actually was kind of in a hurry. I had to run back and pick that up, so we had to do Contempo Cafe. But then after that, it was full relaxation mode the rest of the trip.
Yeah, and I had such a good time, at the resorts during this.
It was wonderful, and we did this again because we had a great deal, and it was my birthday week. So here we are. We're at the Magic Kingdom. This was actually another day, but because we're showing the Magic Kingdom Resort, I figured we'd give this a show. Again, the tree was still up as of the 9th of January.
It was really nice because on the last day that we were there, we went into the Magic Kingdom really as early as we possibly could, and the tree was still lit from
like
the
Paris.
night. Yeah, like being at Paris, like it was still lit and there was still other lights on, and it was really nice.
And you can see the Dapper Dans here, and now they're in their normal outfits rather than their Christmas outfits, although the trolley is still decorated for Christmas.
And probably not anymore. And here is Tron.
The latest look at Tron, which is on hold. I guess clearly it's on hold because they've sealed up the building right over the roller coaster track, and I'll show that much closer. But you can see this canopy is looking much more finished than the last time.
Well, they're still working on this, so I don't know if it's.
I don't see the coaster going too well through this.
I don't know. The rumor is that it's not coming for 2021, that, it's going to be later than that. I don't know what's going to happen. Disney has not officially announced anything, so I will just say,
we'll see what happens.
We'll just see what happens.
So here we are. I wanted to get another view of that little area because I just find it very interesting, fascinating to see a closed wall where a roller coaster track would be. So we got that over by the Speedway. And this next shot you're going to see we took at the top of the Astro Orbiter, which is wonderful because I love riding the Astro Orbiter, especially in the early morning brisk air.
So much was supposed to open this year. A lot was supposed to open here this year. What we do know is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and the France Pavilion expansion will.
Speaking of that, the construction walls have been removed as of today, and there are just trees, those rolling trees out there now. So who knows what's going to happen? Let's talk about the Astro Orbiter. We've done this a lot lately because of the Tron, but it seems much slower. This time it seemed like it was the circle of the your rocket was slower, much slower.
I didn't even notice that. I know you wrote it on my notes here, but I didn't even think about it.
I'll show you from the ground. There you are,
there
of course,
I am,
taking those pictures.
With my mask.
Of course. But I don't know. And I could tell when I was on it, I just felt like it's the slowest I have ever been. It used to be, especially when it landed, it would go really, really fast. But and I like it better slower because you can really take in things and we'll compare this to other videos.
That's funny because I never thought about that, but I didn't get dizzy as I was taking pictures this time, where in the past I definitely have.
Look at how slow it is. This is from the ground. That's why I shot it.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, so I wonder if they've purposely slowed it down. Something we'll have to investigate.
But the People Mover was delayed also, but they are testing it. I've seen cast members on it, working on it. So I am hoping that even though they keep delaying it, it's shorter delays, like the end of the month.
Right.
I'm really hoping we're going to see that up and running in the near future.
Well, at one point there was talk that it might have open on the 10th,
10th,
which was
right.
yesterday, and of course that didn't happen.
Well,
And
that was on
we
the
knew
site.
that wasn't. Oh, it was officially on the site.
It was officially on the site, and then
So
I
not
think it's
just
like
talk.
January 30th or something. No, nobody was talking. No, but
Yeah, because this sign says is that it's closed and it's under refurbishment.
I'm just hoping in the next few weeks we'll actually see it open, and also I would like to see the train, reopen at some point in the near future. Plus, the Liberty Bell is down right now because the Rivers of America is drained. There's a lot going on with the transportation.
Some of our
at Magic
favorite
Kingdom.
things.
Yes.
I miss all of that stuff. This is one of the longest lines we saw, by the way, when we were in the
Seven
Magic
Dwarfs
Kingdom.
Mine Train.
No, it was the line
Oh,
for Gaston's Tavern
yes, sorry.
because it was chilly and they wanted their bread, their
Their
roll.
bread, You know what? They have a good cinnamon bun.
And that bun is very generous, by the way. It is huge, so I can see why. Here's a quick view looking down Main Street. You can see all the decorations are still up. That was shot from the back of the stage there. And on our way out, they had this area roped off here to leave. And so all of a sudden we noticed here come the princesses. 10 princesses were walking by, and all in their winter attire.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we've seen them.
I've never
Come by-
seen this
okay,
little
you
setup.
haven't. I have
not
seen.
been there for this. I know all the everybody that does appearances on the train station temporarily has to come through this way because of the construction up there. They can't go their normal way. So it's kind of nice. You get really close. You can get some great pictures. You had some really excellent pictures of all of them as they walk by.
Well, I was stopped where those guests are across the way. The first, I have seen this from that angle.
Was it the princesses or the Disney characters like Mickey and Minnie and I think
It was the Disney princesses.
Okay,
I
okay.
took some video. I don't know if we used it for the show, and that
Okay.
was a number of weeks ago.
I was not in attendance
No.
for that, so this was much more exciting, I guess, for me. And you could still leave, by the way, if you just walk around and take the other exit. So anyway, and then they do their appearance, and unlike the previous way, all 10 were appearing at once, where it used to be 5 and then 5 they would switch off. But because they don't have an area in the back, they can't, so they all are out at once. So I thought it was nicer than usual if you wanted to see them.
I actually didn't come over here to take photos of them. I had just taken photos of them below, so I figured it was time to go, and so I didn't realize there were so many on top of the train station. So that's
It was
nice
unique.
for guests.
It was definitely unique, and we were in a kind of a hurry because we had done mobile order and we had our macadamia nut pancakes waiting for us to hit the button and start preparing, and we'll show that a little bit more next week. So on our way back, we decided to take the boat. We had not done the boat, and it was one of these little flat boats like you used to see at the Discovery River at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I was very happy to be on that one.
Discovery Riverboat, and we were on our way.
Denise always has the official names.
Yes.
What would I do without that?
Well, Discovery Riverboat.
That's true.
So, we were staying, at this point, we were staying at the Polynesian, which is why we were getting our food over there. And this was nice. I like the big open boats right now if we're going to do boats.
Well, we were only in the park for 2 hours, so we had the whole boat. Not a lot of takers leaving at 10 in the morning to go back to your resort.
And otherwise, I would have taken, I like to take the walkway, definitely there and sometimes back also, while we were staying at the Polynesian.
Well, we were very lucky because during this time, the parks opened at 8 a.m. They would go from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that was a nice little bonus. Now they are opening at 9.
So the first morning, or the last morning, sorry, 7:45 a.m. is about the time that we arrived. We started walking around 7 a.m. from Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, took photos and such along the way, and showed up at about 7:45.
And that is another show, thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
That's another show, and check them out. And especially, there's a lot of changes. There's also new offers, for guests to save money on resorts. You might not be traveling now, but I think, as the year progresses, we'll see, hopefully more normal travel to everywhere. I'm hoping.
I still think Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary will be a very big deal. So
I think so too. It won't be as big as it would have been. It can't be because not everything's going to open like it was, and we're still. We'll probably be hopefully by then, towards the end of a pandemic.
Well, hopefully Disneyland will be open by then.
I hope so. I can't wait to but also to Paris. I look forward to getting back there.
So next week we'll be talking all about the Taste of the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. We already spent the first day of the festival there, a full day, and we have a lot of footage from that, and we're going to get a little more tomorrow.
Right. I can't wait to get back there. We've done about half of everything. We haven't tried any foods yet, and we will do that. And I know some out. We haven't seen the Voices of Liberty.
Right.
Liberty
we haven't
yet.
seen all the merchandise, so we figured by next week we should have fully seen it, and we'll have a whole show devoted to that. Maybe not a whole show, but as much as we have.
And we have it will only at that point be like one more month of it's only like a 6-week event, and then we're rolling into Epcot, the Taste of the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, which I can't wait for. So we should actually see flowers and topiaries and such. It's not that long till we'll start to see those.
Well, it was funny, the day we were there for opening day of the Festival of the Arts, there were still Christmas decorations up. So we'll see if all of those are finally down by tomorrow.
I think by now. And yeah.
So thanks again for listening. Have a great week. We'll see you all next week. Stay safe. And, well, it's too, you know what? I think the time has passed for Happy New Year. So we're well past Happy New Year.
Did we say it last week?
I think so.
Okay, well, Happy New Year anyway. And have a safe week.
See you next week.